Hello students, how are you? Again I am here, Amit sir, with class 10 civics part. Today I will still discuss the fourth chapter. Regarding this, I want to make you sure about the syllabus of class 10 civics. There will be total 5 chapters evaluated in the board exam. In your book you may have 8 chapters, but there are 3 chapters will not be there in the board exam. It will not be evaluated in the board exam. So the evaluation part will be consisting of 5 chapters. So regarding that, the first 5 chapters, whatever they are in the syllabus, that we will discuss with full concentration and with full emphasis, so that your exams will be better. So in that syllabus, gender, religion and caste, this is the 4th chapter is going on now, so it will be continued today also. So rest of the part I will discuss, so stay with us, stay with me, so it will be the clear concept to you. And I also request you, after seeing my video, all of you please see the book, and each and every corner of the book, of the chapter, whatever part I am going to discuss today has been elaborately discussed. So once you read, once you see the video, I hope the chapter will be clear. So wait and let us start. See students, again chapter 4 I have written, that is gender, religion and politics. It is there in your syllabus, and we are discussing over here. If you just relate the previous part, the main matter of discussion of this part was the position of Indian women in the patriarchal society. What is patriarchal society? It is a male dominated society where men, they want to prove their power on the society. It is called male dominated patriarchal society. So in that society, what is the position of women, that we will discuss. And our main emphasis is that in this part to discuss that what is the reason for women, what are the reasons for women to come to politics, how politics can help the women to change their position. But before that, we will see what is the actual position of women in India at present. In different fields we will check up. We will see in the field of literacy, we will see in the field of jobs. So that one thing I should also tell, that whatever figure we are discussing, that is the average figure. There is no need to think that everywhere the same condition. Okay, everywhere women are suffering, not that. But overall we are discussing, and all the time whenever we will discuss any condition, that will be on the overall fact. So overall average is that, you see, now I have written over here, how women face disadvantage, discrimination and opposition in various ways. So if you discuss this type of disadvantage, discrimination, then we can understand what is the importance, why it is important for the women to come to politics. So first of all, you have to see the areas of discrimination. You see, regarding literacy rate, I have given according to 2001 census. After independence, all the census the time I am giving, almost 60 years passed. Still, literacy rate among the girls 65% and among the boys 76%. So, and second point, if you see, in all the areas regarding education like that, girls and boys are doing almost same. Girls are showing the same sort of efficiency in the different type of higher education or like that. But still the girls are not getting that much position. Why? Because still in our mind, in our India, this type of stereotypes are still working, that girls, their work should be confined in home. So what is the need for them to go for higher study? And that is why the condition is like this. Now see point number 3. still now in our country, if you see, many of the parents prefer to spend their resources for their boys' education rather than girl children. So nowadays you will see, if you see the dropout rates in India, you will see that maximum dropout rates are there in the girls, for the girls. Maximum parents, basically in the poor families, they prefer their money to be spent for the boys' education rather than that of the girls' education. And because of this problem, still the girls are going or are suffering regarding the education scenario. Now you see one more data I have given. On an average, an Indian woman works 1 hour more than an average man every day. Yet much of her work is not paid and therefore often not valued. You see how many women, or how much percentage of women are going outside for the high rank jobs? Very few. And if you see the household activities, the women are doing the work simultaneously or equally with the male. If you calculate, every woman work 1 hour more than that of men. But still, as they do not get any payment in home, that is why their work is not valued. So these things, if you see and you can understand the importance of the women participation. I am coming to the chapter. You see, I have taken one picture from the book also. This picture was there in the book. If you see the picture, you can understand. You see what is written over here. See, mummy always says to outsiders, I don't work. I am a housewife, but I see her working non-stop all the time. If what she does is not work, what else is work? So in that way, this is a big question for the present generation, that women, they are working, the housewife, they are working simultaneously all the day, but still their work is not valued. So here, if you see this scenario, the women are ill-treated in our society. Now we'll see the fifth point, the Equal Wages Act. What is Equal Wages Act? Equal Wages Act means for the equal work, equal payment. But many of the areas are there, still many of the fields are there, from cinema to sports, from factories to field, etc. When one man work, his salary is, or his wage is more than the same work done by the woman. So in that way, here also regarding the payment, the women are deprived. Why? Because stereotype has been made that women, if they work, they do not deserve the big wages or equal wages or like that. So in that way also they are deprived. See, students, one more fact I have given over here. The declining rate of child sex ratio. What is that? It is very much big concern. That number of girl children per 1,000 boys in the country, it is also declining. It is a big concern for our country that in maximum states of India, this child sex ratio is declining. That means the number of girl children are getting decreased. Many of the areas, the parents, they always want the boy children. Many of the areas, the girl children are killed before their birth also. This is a big concern for the government as well as for society. So, and I am not talking about the time of near independence. I am talking about almost 70 years past after independence. But still, this scenario is there in maximum part of the country. So, I have given the child sex ratio also 940 according to 2011 census. So, one map also I have kept over here. You see the map. If you see the map, you will see that in maximum states of India, the child sex ratio is less. So the reddish part, whatever there, the child sex ratio is very much less. You see, below 800, in the red mark areas below 800, means out of 1,000 only 800 girls are there. They are getting birth out of 1,000 boys. So it is a big concern we have to be careful about. So these are the areas that I want to show that still the girls are, or the ladies are disadvantaged. Except all this, there are that regular harassment, exploitation, violence against women. That has also become one daily day matter. So these are the areas where women are still disadvantaged, exploited. So now we'll see the condition of women in India regarding the representation in politics, because it has been set up, or it is a established idea that if, unless and until the maximum women take part in the politics, their condition may not be changed, or will not be changed, I better say. So regarding that area, we'll see what is the condition of women regarding the representation in politics in India. You see, I have written the points here. Women problems has not been given adequate attention. Automatically, because of that, many feminist or women's movement started. Feminist movement means the movement for the rights of women. Many of the areas, women are coming forward. They are going for movement against the government. That is also one negative side of the government. That still, after 70 years of independence, the women have to struggle for their rights. So, what conclusion we can draw from here? Unless women control power, their problems will not get adequate attention. So more and more women should take part in politics and be elected in decision-making body. In the government, if the women are not there, suppose for the entire country of India, half the population is women, but still the women legislators or the women decision makers are very few, handful. So how can we say that this is a democratic country where the women representation is too low? Second point, you see, promotion of women in legislature has been very low. Percentage of elected women in Lok Sabha always has been less than 10% of total strength. So Lok Sabha's total strength is 543. So out of 543, less than 10% are women. So how can we say that for the entire country a democratic system is going on when the half the population is women, but their representation is less than 10%? So in that way, we can say in the politics also women's share is very less. Their share in the state assembly is also less than 10%. State assembly is the 10% or even 5%, less than 5% you can say. So this is the condition of women at present in India. So the chapter is gender, religion and caste. So we are discussing over here that what is the importance of gender, religion and caste to come to politics, how politics affect their life, how they affect the politics. So here we are discussing as many women are not coming forward in politics, so automatically their life have been affected by all the time being exploited. You see, next point I have written regarding women representation, India is behind the average of several developing countries of Africa and Latin America. So India's position has even gone below the condition of the developing countries of Africa and Latin America. In their countries also, women representation is more than that of India. So in the government, if you see the cabinets, when the cabinets are formed taking all the important ministries, so over there also largely all male dominated. Okay, male people are there, male representatives are there. Maybe the chief minister or prime minister hardly, maybe women, but they are all the leaders, all the legislators, maximum are male. So here how can we say that the decision is democratic, a democratic decision can be taken? So next point we will go. So what are the ways out in this condition if the women representation is less? What are the ways out? What can we do? So number A, I have written, it should be legally binding to have a fair proportion of women in the elected bodies. Okay, this has been done in the Panchayati system, that 1/3 of the position have been reserved, 1/3 of the seats have been reserved in all the village panchayats, municipalities, corporations, etc. for the women, and for that purpose 10 lakh women representatives are there in the rural bodies. So it is a good sign, it is a good sight. But still, the second point, you see, demand is also going on to reserve same number of seats or same proportion of seats for the Lok Sabha and state assemblies. But still, no result or no consensus has been made yet. So like that, the rural body in the parliament also, in the Lok Sabha or in the state legislative assemblies also, the women representation should be more. So if this could be done, and only if this can be done, then women position can be changed. Okay, I am not saying that not at all changed, it's changed. Okay, after independence, many of the women are becoming doctor, engineers and astronauts like that, but their number are still less. Still we have to give that advertisement. When one woman become the pilot, we have to advertise that. Why we have to advertise that? If it is a democratic country, when the male, they are becoming the pilot, when they are becoming the astronaut, we are not liable to give the advertisement. But when one woman becoming the astronaut or engine driver, railway driver, or one pilot, we have to give advertisement. So this proves that still women representation is less. That is why by giving advertisement, we have to boost up the women. So yes, it has increased from the previous time, but still a long way to go. So what conclusion we come to? This I have quoted from the book itself as it is, and I will make you understand also. So what is the conclusion after this discussion? So gender division is an example that some form of social division needs to be expressed in politics. So gender division will definitely be expressed in politics. This also shows that disadvantaged groups do benefit when social divisions become a political issue. So when this social division, male, female, woman division will come in politics, when they will join the politics, automatically it will give the advantage benefit to the woman. And the last part, so women should take part in politics in even large numbers, that their condition can be improved more. So the women part, the representation or the gender issue in politics, today I have finished. So what we have discussed till now, that what is the condition of women in India, how the women are brought up, what thinking is there, how they are being stereotyped in India, what problems they are facing. Then we have seen that what can be done for their improvement, what can be done for them to come to politics. In this way only the women can improve their life, because politics is the area, political decision making is the area where they can take the decision for them and their fellow being or fellow woman, and in that way they can change their life better. So as usual, today also I have kept some questions for you. This is the question, previous question also I have given previously. These are the question very much important. You see written, I have written number 1, define the sex ratio. What is sex ratio? So already I have told over here that number of girls per 1,000 birth of boys. What is sex ratio of India? I have given in the notes. What is patriarchal society? It is a male dominated society. Okay, what is the literacy rate among men and women? That I also have given in the discussion. What is Equal Wages Act? This Wages Act means for the equal job, equal wage should be given. And one big question also I have given, 3 points you can write. In India, women's political representation is very low. Justify. So this you will get in the book. So write it down, and good day. Stay home, stay safe. Thank you very much.